Hello, grade prep 3. Welcome back to another video of our series of New Hello 3. I hope you're doing amazing. We're gonna study Unit 15 from New Hello 3, entitled Technology. For this lesson's objectives, for grammar, we're gonna study the second conditional with would, might, or could. For reading, we're gonna read a text about technology. For listening, we're gonna listen to a talk about privacy on social networking sites. For speaking, we're gonna encourage people to speak. For writing, we're gonna write a report about social media. Lesson 1. Ask and answer. What can you do on a smartphone as well as talk to people? Pause and answer. Check your answer with me. We can use them to send messages and emails, transfer money to a bank, or to pay for things in shops. Now, read the newspaper article and check your answer to exercise 1. The latest technology. We're going to read a text about technology. Egypt was the first Arab country to use the internet and now has nearly 50 million internet users. However, technology is changing all the time, so it's important to learn about the latest developments. Many jobs now require you to know how to use social media. Some companies now use social media to advertise jobs and to arrange interviews. In fact, if a person didn't know how to use social media, it might be more difficult for them to find work. How we send messages is also changing. In the past, you could only send emails using a computer. Now, you can send texts or emails on a mobile phone or tablet. Social networking sites allow you to send messages to many people at the same time. This is very useful. If you want to send messages to a group of people, for example, to your friends in a sports team or a book club, the way that we use our mobile phones is also changing. We can use them to transfer money to or from a bank, or even to pay for things in shops. If someone wanted to have the latest technology, they could buy a smartphone. The latest technology can help you to do many things. We can find out about it online or in some magazines. Some words and their definitions. Developments, the processes of becoming bigger, better, etc. Advertise, tell people about something in newspapers, on TV, etc. Arrange, make plans for something to happen. Require, need or ask you to do something. Social media, websites used by people to communicate, transfer, move someone or something from one place to another. Which of the words in red in the text mean the following? Number 1 is done for you. Number 1, the processes of becoming bigger, better, etc. Developments. 2, tell people about something in newspapers, on TV, etc. 3, make plans for something to happen. 4, need or ask you to do something. 5, websites used by people to communicate. 6, move someone or something from one place to another. Both the video, think and answer, come back to check your answer with me. Okay, now check your answers. 2, advertise. 3, arrange. 4, require. 5. Social media. 6. Transfer. I hope all your answers are correct. Now with exercise 4. Are these sentences true or false? 1. Egypt used the internet before any other country in the world. The answer is done for you, which is false. 2. You can find some jobs on the internet. 3. You need a computer to send an email. 4. Some people can buy things using their mobile phones. So now put the video, put true or false next to each sentence. Check your answers with me. Number 2, true. Number 3, false. You can use a smartphone. Number 4, true. For lesson 2, which is a grammar lesson, we're gonna deal with second conditional. Exercise 1, underline would, might, could, if, and the 2 verbs in each sentence. Number 1 is done for you. If a person didn't know how to use social media, it might be more difficult for them to find work. Here we're gonna underline if, didn't know, might be. We'll do the same for number 2 and 3. For number 2, if somebody wanted to have the latest technology, they could buy a smartphone. 3, if you had a smartphone, it would be easy to transfer money. I'll give you time to think. Come back to check your answers. Check your answers with me. If somebody wanted to have the latest technology, they could buy a smartphone. Here we underline if, wanted, could buy. For number 3, if you had a smartphone, it would be easy to transfer money. If would be underlined, had, would be. To discuss the second conditional in details, here we use the second conditional when we speak about impossible situations. We use the second conditional to talk about situations that are either impossible or which might not happen. So the first part would be in the past simple, and the second part we would use would, might, or could plus the infinitive. So let's see the examples given here. If I were taller, I'd be good at basketball. If I were taller, of course I can be taller here, so it's an impossible situation. This is the condition. What will happen as a result? I would be good at basketball. Of course, that could happen. Couldn't happen because I can get taller. Second example, if I went to England, I would visit London. So here it's again an impossible situation. I can visit London because I can't go to England. So here we notice that the verb went is in the past simple, and in the result part, I would visit, would plus infinitive. We use might instead of would. Might means would perhaps. If you learn Japanese, you might get a job in Tokyo. I'm not sure. You can learn Japanese and still not get the job. So here, if you learn Japanese, I'm not sure if you will learn it. I think it's impossible. You might get a job in Tokyo. I'm not sure if you're gonna get the job. We can use could instead of would. Could means would be able to. If we went to the beach, we could go swimming. We have the ability to do so. We can go swimming, but in the case that we went to the beach, which is impossible or unlikely to happen. In the negative, might not show possibility, but couldn't shows inability or impossibility. If you went to the museum now, it might not be very busy. If you visited the palace, you couldn't go in the gardens because they are closed. So here you can go in the gardens because they are closed. So if you visited the palace, it's unlikely to happen. Listen to exercise 2. Complete these sentences with the correct form of the verb in brackets to make correct conditionals. To remind my students again, if always in the second conditional is followed by past simple in the condition part, and the second sentence, which is the result, is used by using could or might plus infinitive. So here, number 1 is done for you. We could go shopping if we had enough time. Number 2, if we all each other, the world space a better place to live in. Number 3, if I space very ill, I space to the doctor. 4, if you space how to speak English, it's space difficult for you to travel to London. 5, his parents space him if he space them about the problem. I'll give you time to think. Remember our rule. If in the second conditional is always followed by past simple and the result part, the second sentence, is in could plus infinitive. Okay, check your answers with me. Number 2, loved and would or could be. Number 3, was and would go. Number 4, didn't know and would or might. 5, would or could help plus told in the second space. We still in lesson 2. Complete the question, then ask the answer. Notice here, to form a question, we should do inversion. Like, you would go would be, would you go? Would you go? Okay, so let's read the example here. Where would you go? Would you go? If you want a trip to anywhere in the world, the answer is, if I want a trip to anywhere in the world, I might go to Japan. So let's do the same as exercise 1, which just I gave you the answer. Where you go when a trip to anywhere in world. 2, what you do, lose your school bag. 3, who you phone, you see an accident. 4, what your parents say you not to do well in your exams. To form the question, remember to do the inversion. Would you go? Would you go? Would you study? Check your answers with me. What would you do if you lost your school bag? Here notice, would you do? What would you do? 3, who would you phone if you saw an accident? So we notice here, if in the middle it's followed by past simple, we just do the inversion in would plus infinitive part. So here it would be would plus subject, okay, plus infinitive. 4, what would your parents say if you didn't do well in your exams? Use here didn't do. Notice when we use didn't, we put the verb in the infinitive form.